If you feel directionless in life, it's not because you haven't found your purpose yet. It's because your nervous system won't let you access it. If you're trying to hear a whisper while your body is screaming, no amount of journaling, meditating, or finding your passion is going to work until you understand this. I'm going to show you the real reason you can't find your purpose, and it's not what you think. I want to give you 3 practical steps to finally hear what you're meant to do. It's not spiritual theory, it's actual neuroscience and tools that you can use today. I don't want you to spend years of your life trying to find solutions that don't work for you, or worse, giving up because you couldn't find movement. I'm a life coach who specializes in trauma recovery and nervous system regulation. Here's what I've learned. Most advice about finding your purpose is backwards. People will tell you, follow your passion, or find what makes you come alive, or my personal favorite, just listen to your intuition. But if your nervous system is dysregulated from past stress or trauma, you literally cannot access those states. It's like trying to hear a whisper in the middle of a thunderstorm. So here's what we're going to cover today. Why you can't access purpose when you're in survival mode. 2, the foundational skills that most people are missing, and it makes purpose impossible to find. Plus, I'm going to share a personal story about a conversation I had with God, and it completely changed how I understand finding direction in life. Plus, tell me if this sounds familiar. You wake up, you go through the motions, you get coffee, you do your commute, you go to work, you scroll on your phone, you have dinner, Netflix, sleep, repeat. And then the whole time, there's this thing humming in the background. Is this really it? Does today actually matter? Do I matter? Here's what makes it worse. You look at other people who seem to have found their thing, their mission, their passion, their calling, and you think, what's wrong with me? Why can't I figure this out? But here's what you need to know. There's nothing wrong with you. You're bored because you are bored. You feel stuck because you are stuck. And you know that there's more to your life than what is showing because that's the truth. There is more. The problem isn't that you haven't tried hard enough to find your purpose or something's wrong with you. The problem is that every piece of advice you've ever had has been misleading. Just follow your passion. Okay, but what if you try to think of your passion and you just completely draw a blank? Just try new things. Okay, maybe you have and nothing really jumps out at you. Meditate on it. My favorite, pray about it. And you do those things, but it just feels like you're shouting into a black hole. And here's why all that advice fails. It's like telling someone to try to run a marathon when you have a broken leg. No amount of motivation or positive thinking or trying harder will be able to willpower you out of a broken foundation. And your foundation, it's the nervous system that's stuck in survival mode. When you're living in chronic stress, and most of us are, when your body is constantly scanning for threats, when you have low-grade anxiety humming in the background, that's when you feel tightness in your chest or the exhaustion in your bones, you get burnt out. You literally can't access the parts of your brain that connect with purpose and creativity and with joy. It's not a mindset problem, it's a nervous system problem. And it's really important to me that you understand that this is a nervous system problem, because what I don't want to happen for you is that you wake up in 10 years, in 15 years, in 20 years, and realize you spent your entire life waiting for permission to start living. I don't want you to feel the quiet grief of knowing that you were capable of doing so much more, but never stepped into it. I don't want you to feel like you were wasted potential. I don't want you to look back at the relationships where you weren't fully present, including the one with yourself, because you were too busy trying to figure out what was wrong with you. That's the real cost. It's not just being bored. It's not just feeling stuck. It's the loss of all the good things that could be happening. Okay, so now what I want to do is talk about what actually is happening and why you feel this way. Point number 1 is you can't access purpose from a stress response. So here's the neuroscience. Your nervous system has different states. You might be in fight, flight, freeze, or you might be regulated. I call this flow. When you're in survival mode, your body is focused on one thing: staying alive. And so what it does is it prioritizes all of your energy and your resources, and they go towards scanning for threat and trying to keep you safe. So this is incompatible with the state of creativity, generosity, being able to give yourself freely, fully, and joyfully. These require a regulated nervous system state. They require you to feel safe in order to access them. Purpose isn't something you just figure out with your mind, it's something you feel with your body. And it's not something you can access until you're in a state of safety and connection. It emerges naturally when your nervous system is regulated. So, if you're trying to find your purpose while you're chronically stressed or anxious or overwhelmed, living in survival mode, it's like trying to paint a picture when an earthquake is happening underneath you. Your system just won't let you. This is why chasing after conferences or retreats feel amazing in the moment, and then you come home and then you lose all the insight you had. You lose the inspiration and the connection. You have those moments of clarity in the shower or on vacation or when you travel, but then they disappear the moment you're back in your regular life. Your nervous system state has shifted. If you learn how to regulate your nervous system, and I have a whole video called Resilience 101 that breaks down exactly how the stress and nervous system work. So you'll be able to access these higher states of creativity and purpose so much easier. This is the foundation, and it's not optional if you want to find purpose. Number two, have you ever heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Purpose and self actualization are actually at the very top. But here's what most people don't realize: you can't access purpose if you haven't developed the foundational skills underneath it. And most of us have holes in our foundation. I call these skills for resilience. They're the developmental capacities you have to thrive as a human. They're things like how to identify and meet your own needs, understanding your emotions and how to work with them, building healthy boundaries, developing stress tolerance, learning how to self soothe and co regulate, discovering what you're actually good at and what you can contribute to a group, finding confidence in who you really are and not what people want you to be. These aren't luxuries, they're building blocks to find your purpose. And if you grew up in a stressful environment, you experienced trauma, or you just weren't taught these skills, you're going to struggle with finding purpose. It's not because there's something wrong with you, but you're just missing the tools. It's like trying to build the roof of a house when the walls weren't finished yet. It just doesn't really work. So if you're feeling directionless, one of the most compassionate things you can do is ask, what skills am I missing? Where are the holes in my foundation? I actually created a free Skills for Resilience assessment that covers all these areas, and I'll link it below. It will help you identify exactly where your gaps are so you know what to work on, because you can't heal what you can't see. Number 3, be, then do, not the other way around. This is the one that really shifts everything. Our culture has it backwards. We're told, figure out what you want to do and then you'll be important. You'll be successful. You'll be fulfilled. You'll be enough. You'll get the right job. You'll make the right money. You'll achieve the right things. And then you'll feel purposeful. But that's not how it actually works. That's why so many people are successful, but then they still feel empty. The real order is be and then do. So you want to connect to who you actually are, to your true self, not to who you think you should be, not to who your parents wanted you to be, not who looks impressive on paper, but who are you? What lights you up? What feels true in your body when you're in a state of regulation and safety? When you connect to that, when you know who you are at your core, what you do will naturally flow from that place. And it will be meaningful. It will be impactful. It will feel like you. This is what people mean when they talk about alignment. It's not some woo-woo concept. It's your actions flowing from your authentic self instead of flowing from fear, obligation, or what other people want. Now, I want to share something personal because it completely shifted how I understand purpose in my life. A few years ago, I was feeling exactly what you might be feeling right now, really confused and directionless, and I didn't know where to go or what to do. I had this conversation with God. It kind of played like a movie in my imagination. I was at a suburban house, and God was personified as my dad. We had a beautiful fenced in backyard, and he told me, go outside and play. So I looked around and I saw this badminton set, and I said, can I play badminton? And he said, yeah. So I hit the birdie. It fell to the ground, and then I stopped and asked, well, can I go pick it up? He said yes. So I walked over, I picked up the birdie, and I asked again, can I hit the birdie? And so then the father said this to me, and I'll never forget it. I told you to go and play. You were so afraid of making a mistake, and you stopped and asked for approval on how to play every step of the way. When you do that, when you stop your play to ask for approval, you're not actually playing. You're not doing my will. Then he said this to me. I'll have my eye on you from the kitchen window, but I need to go inside for a while so you can learn how to play, and I'll be there if you really need me. And here's how I interpret this. I was so scared of making a mistake. I was so terrified of taking ownership over my own life that I was forfeiting my opportunities to be creative, to do something really great. I took my personal stakes out of the process of purpose. We are made to co-create. And if I forfeit my piece of the project and just say, okay, God, you tell me what to do, then I am not participating in his will. I'm not participating in the kingdom. I'm just a robot. Your purpose isn't something that's handed to you fully formed. It's something you discover through play and through trying and through making mistakes and through showing up as yourself and seeing what emerges. You're not supposed to have it all figured out. That's kind of the fun of it. You're supposed to be brave enough to participate and go on an adventure. All right, so what do you actually do with all this? Let me give you some practical steps. Step 1, start regulating your nervous system. You cannot skip this step. If you're living in chronic stress or survival mode, everything else I'm about to say, it's not going to stick. So start here. Learn how your nervous system works. I have a video called Resilience 101. It's a complete introduction to how stress and the nervous system operate. The link is below. I want you to begin a daily regulation practice. This could be breath work, somatic exercises, gentle movement, spending time in nature, meditation, anything that brings your nervous system back to a state of safety. I have a video called Basic Body Scan that I'll also link below. It's a 10-minute practice you're welcome to try. Notice what dysregulates you and what regulates you. Start tracking. Awareness is always the first step. I don't want you to feel the pressure to be calm all the time. That's actually not what regulation is. Regulation is the ability to move through different states and be able to come back to a baseline at the end of it. You'll still feel stress. You'll feel elevation and anger and fear, and you might also feel sadness. But the goal is resilience, it's not perfection. I want to set a realistic expectation for you. This is going to take time. You spent years training your nervous system to be the way that it is, and it's going to take time to train your system out of it. So I want you to be patient with yourself. Even small amounts of regulation practice will start opening up access to those creative and purposeful states. Step 2, access your skills for resilience. I'd like you to take the skills for resilience assessment I mentioned. It covers all the foundational developmental capacities that you need. Things like emotional awareness and boundary setting and distress tolerance, self-trust, and a lot more. This assessment will show you exactly where your gaps are, and here's the beautiful thing. Once you know what the holes are, you can start to fill them. You're not broken, you're just missing some tools. There's a tendency for people when they're starting to learn about the gaps in their skills that they're going to try to work on all things at once, and that gets really overwhelming and it sets you up to fail. So what I'd like to encourage you to do is to just pick one thing to focus on at a time. I have a guide on how to do this in my results guide from the assessment follow-up. Step 3, practice be, then do. This is the hardest one because it requires you to slow down and actually listen to yourself. And here's how. Get regulated first. You can't hear yourself when you're in stress mode. Ask yourself, what actually lights me up? What feels true in my body right now? Not what should light you up, but what actually does. Start small. You don't need to quit your job and move to a new city. You need to make one small choice that honors who you really are. Notice what expands you, what makes you feel contracted. Your body knows. Your body is always telling you what you want and what you need. If you need help discovering this, I actually have a video on that. It's called What Stress is Trying to Tell You. I will link that also below. This is the true key. Take action from that place. Do something, even if it's just the smallest change. Purpose is not found in your head, it's found in the doing. I don't want you to feel like you have to wait until you are 100% certain before you act. That's actually a type of procrastination. So, the old pattern of asking for permission at every step, we want to throw that away. We want to give you permission to play, to try, and to make mistakes. This is going to feel a little bit scary at first. You're not used to trusting yourself, and you're not used to taking the pressure off when you try new things. And that's okay. You're building a new muscle. So, here's what I'd like you to do this week. Assignment number 1. Spend 10 minutes doing something regulating. It could be a walk, breath work, journaling, whatever brings your nervous system back to baseline. Notice how you feel before and after. I will link that body scan below if you want to try it. Assignment 2. Take the skills for resilience assessment and see what comes up. There's no judgment. You have full permission to disagree with it, but it's a tool to help give you some direction. Assignment 3. Ask yourself one question when you're regulated. If I felt completely safe right now, what would I want to try? What could make my life more beautiful? What could make the room more beautiful? What would feel good right now? If you need help getting connected to yourself, I have that video. Here's how this connects to your larger healing journey. Finding purpose isn't separate from healing, they're integrated. It's not something you do after you fix yourself. Purpose emerges naturally as you heal, as you regulate, and as you reconnect with who you really are. They all happen together. Okay, now I'm going to bring this home. You're not directionless because something is wrong with you. You're directionless because you're trying to hear a whisper in the middle of a storm. Your nervous system needs regulation. Your foundation needs some repair work, and you need permission to stop asking for approval and just start playing. Here's what you're walking away with today. Takeaway number 1. Purpose requires a regulated nervous system. You cannot access creativity, generosity, or joy from a state of survival. Learn to regulate first. Key takeaway number 2. Most people are missing foundational skills. You're not broken, you're just missing some bricks in your foundation. So let's help you identify those gaps and fill them. Key takeaway number 3. Culture has it backwards. It's not do, then be. It's be, then do. Connect to who you are, and meaningful action will follow. Remember that story about learning how to play? That's your invitation right now. Stop waiting for permission. Stop asking if every single step is okay. You're allowed to show up. You're allowed to try. You're allowed to participate in your own life. If this resonated with you, please like this video and leave a comment letting me know which teaching point hit home. I read every single comment. And don't forget, grab the skills for resilience assessment, watch the video on Resilience 101. I will put all the links in the description below. These are tools that will help you actually do the work. Your soul's not quiet, you're just learning how to listen. And you're doing that right now by being here, by taking this seriously, by caring enough about what you want in life and more. That's not directionless. That's the beginning of everything. I'll see you in the next video.